Welcome to the second episode of Energy Toning, and today I'll be talking about how nutritional supplements and special diets are not the answer to your health challenges. Hi everyone, my name is Liz, and before I get started today, I just want to ask you a couple of questions, such as have you ever spent hours researching what supplements are right for you or your particular physical condition only to find that they weren't very effective when you tried them? Or have you been obsessed with the right kind of diet for your body only to find it was way too hard to stick to or didn't make much difference? Now, I'm not saying that these things are not important to your health and your well-being, and I'm not saying that nutritional supplements don't work, but there is definitely a much bigger story. If you listened to my first podcast where I explained that I discovered a company called Ness Health, and this company is a bioenergetic company and they focus on the energy fields or the informational fields around your body and how this is like a master director of your health. But what I discovered when I used the Ness Health remedies is that for me personally, the most benefit I got out of them was that my level of consciousness or my emotions shifted dramatically, and I had a certain level of mental clarity that I hadn't had for a long time. And it was not so much that these remedies directly affected my physical body, but they affected my mind and my emotions, and having therefore more inner peace, then my body started to respond and my health started to improve. I basically came to Ness Health wanting to solve my chronic health challenges, and which had been going on for quite some time. I certainly had some improvements with using, nutrition and nutritional supplementation, but I just kept finding that it wasn't the whole story. Prior to using the Ness Health remedies, I had qualified to become a yoga instructor because I had found a lot of health improvements just from practicing yoga. And I was also a fitness instructor as well. And I'd moved away from my Air Force job as a musician into this health and wellness industry. And the reason I wanted to go into this health and wellness industry is because I wasn't at all happy in my previous job, and I really just wanted also to, cure my chronic health condition. And I thought maybe if I immersed myself in the field of health and wellness that I would find that answer. But I was actually really struggling to enjoy my life, to enjoy even the work that I'd set out to do as a fitness instructor and yoga instructor, because even though I had found some health improvement, I still felt stuck and I still felt kind of ill and lacking energy. And I just felt depressed and unmotivated and unsure of my direction in life. But I just kept researching, and, I was always listening to alternative health podcasts and, Hay House radio, and taking all possible angles into consideration, including the spiritual health. And as I explained on my first podcast, I came across the Living Matrix documentary. And in this documentary, there was a guy called Peter Fraser, who was the only Australian on this documentary, so it really perked my interest. And he was talking about energy fields and informational fields and bioenergetics and how these energy fields around our body influence our health and our well-being. And then I found out that he was part of a company called Ness Health. He was one of the founders of the company, and there were actually trained practitioners all over the world in this modality. So I went and found a practitioner in my city and went to see her, and I walked away with, I think it was 4 remedies to take, and this was when things really dramatically shifted for me, and it because what these remedies did was not so much directly impact my physical health. Straight away, it was within probably 5 days of taking them, I just felt dramatic shifts in my emotional life, and I became less depressed and more motivated, more upbeat, and I started remembering my dreams at night, and it's like all these repressed memories were coming up. And what I found is that I was gradually moving into this state of much more inner peace and self-acceptance, and then my creativity exploded. Like, I just suddenly felt the urge to start writing music, because I'd been a musician, but I'd really put a lot of my creativity to the side over the years. But there was something in me that day that just wanted to write music. So this is when I fully realized that I was chasing all the biochemical models, like trying to find the right supplement and the right diets, and all of that in the end was quite stressful, and not to mention expensive. And this is when I really realized that although those things can help, unless you have the energy around your body flowing in effective ways, then it doesn't matter what you actually put in your body, because nothing's going to help if there is a blockage in the energy field. So this impacted me so profoundly that I decided that I just needed to be a practitioner myself, because I wanted to share this with other people. I felt, considering the shift that I had, that I really wanted to now make this my life purpose. But it wasn't an easy transition from my old job to my new work in the health and wellness industry. So, as I mentioned, I was already at this point a qualified yoga instructor and a fitness instructor, but I was still in my old job. So it was like I was doing two jobs at once. I would go to my day job, and then at night I would be doing fitness instruction or yoga instruction. And then I just added something else to the plan, which was to become a bioenergetic practitioner. So I was studying as well. And so it was like three things going on at once. And so this was actually quite hard to balance. But luckily it was the year 2012, the job that I was in was offering voluntary redundancies. And so I thought, I am going to apply for that, because this is my ticket out. And I applied, and luckily I got it. So then I moved into full-time work of fitness instruction and yoga instruction, and continued on with my study in bioenergetics, and then just little by little started taking on clients. But as I was working as a yoga instructor and fitness instructor, one of the things I kept finding over and over again is that the clients that I had they were continually seeking the answer outside of themselves. Like, if they were trying to lose weight, they would only be focusing on the types of exercises and what were the right foods to eat. But all of that is kind of futile if you're not actually looking at your internal world, your internal happiness, and the habits that you've developed over time. So in one way, I kind of felt not very effective in helping these people, because there was only so much I could do with them for 30 minutes every week, or 30 minutes twice a week during our exercise sessions. So I started to become a bit disillusioned, and decided to basically walk away from fitness instruction and yoga instruction, and I went to go and get any old job, just while I sorted it out as to how I wanted to help people. But it was good that I did take a break, and life happened, and then suddenly I found myself pregnant with my daughter, and so I put life on hold for a little bit to go and be a mum. But over this time, the realization occurred to me that it's not just about taking a bunch of bioenergetic remedies and sorting out your internal conflicts and emotions, but also the best way I can help people is by being clear in my own energy, because my own energy affects other people's energy. And during the last couple of years, I've just been focusing on all the different tools that help people raise their energy levels, their vibration. I'm not just talking about, having energy for running around the place and doing lots of things. I'm talking about a certain level of consciousness and what are the everyday habits that help people to live their best life. Because it's actually very hard to tackle a health challenge if you're constantly feeling depressed. So rather than focusing on the physical aspects first, it's best to go to more of the emotional and the mental aspects, and then the physical will follow. So that's why I say it's not the special diets and the nutritional supplementation that's going to be the major impact on your health. It's the internal and the emotional and the mental. And that's what bioenergetics helps you to face. So thanks for listening today. I hope you enjoyed the second episode of my podcast, Energy Toning. If you have any comments or questions, go to my website, energymedicinekey.com, and feel free to shoot me a message.